Hey, I'd like to take a look at another knife today. I got Kershaw's Brookside. This is a Dick's exclusive Kershaw knife. Usually sells $39.99. They have it on sale for $19.99 every time I see it. I had a bunch of rewards points for Dick's, so I basically got it for free. So I grabbed it, wanted to try it out. I've never owned a Kershaw knife myself, so I figured this was kind of a cheap way to get into one that see how it lasts, how it feels, how it looks, how it cuts. Some quick specs. It's 8 CR13 steel. It's Chinese steel. It's Chinese made. Take that for what it is. It's $19.99 knife. So black oxide, black wash finish. That's just the finish over the blade itself. Kind of gives it almost that matte black finish. The handle is glass filled nylon. Not a terrible material, not the best. Is what it is for a pocket knife. The blade is 3¼ inches. Closed, it's 4½ inches. Doesn't have a weight listed on the back here. I don't have a scale on me, otherwise I'd give you a weight on it. But they offer a limited lifetime guarantee through Kershaw. I'm not sure how Dick's is with returning knives or bringing them back if you have a problem. I know a lot of places don't take back knives. They don't want to deal with the returns. I had no real need buying this knife. I wasn't looking for anything specific out of it. Like I said, I had some reward points. I just grabbed it to grab it. Figured I'd take a look at the knife. Get the cover off here. Let's put that to the side. Overall first impressions on it, it feels pretty well in the hand. It's got some, sorry about the light there, a couple of little light finger choils. It's a internal lock, which has a little bit of jimping to get your thumb on. Closes up pretty easy, but the problem that it has closing up is it is a spring assisted open, so it's not very easy to close one-handed. You can see it bouncing there. It's really a two-handed close. The flipper isn't terribly big, which is nice because in your pocket it's not sticking out, it's not annoying. It's got a very good flip action to it, very quick, very positive. There's some jimping on the back of the spine there, which is nice. It's not too aggressive where it bites into your finger, but it's not useless. It does provide a good grip for your thumb and a pretty solid feel if you want to get a nice cutting grip like that. The color is almost like a flat dark earth, but it's a little bit lighter than say Magpul's flat dark earth, if you're familiar with that. It's a light tan color, which is nice. It's a little different. I'm not a huge fan of the plastic grips in this sense, but it serves its purpose. Not terribly uncomfortable for the pattern that it's got on there. Feels pretty good in your hand. I am pretty impressed with the shape of the blade. It's got a nice sweep to it. It's not really a Bowie style, more of a drop point, I would say. Comes to a very nice point there. Out of the box, feels very sharp, feels nice. I've had a lot of knives come out of the box and you just don't like them. You want to sharpen them right away. This, I don't feel I need to sharpen right away. I don't feel bothered by it. It is not a reversible pocket clip, so you're stuck with a right hand carry right there. You cannot switch it to a tip up, which I prefer. It is a strictly tip down right side carry knife. It's a little on the big side for me for an everyday carry type of knife, but depending on what you do and why you're carrying the knife, it's totally up to you. Like I said, it is, they call it speed safe, is Kershaw's assisted opening style. See, closing one hand is a little tough. I'm not sure why the thumb studs are there. They don't provide any positive when the blade closed, or when the blade is open. There's no point where that keeps the blade from going too far back, or when it's closed, that's what stops. They're just thumb studs, and they really aren't very easy to open the blade with. That didn't even lock open all the way there. It's a very awkward spot, and I almost feel like if it doesn't open fully, or you have to get a second grip on, you're going to be pushing right into the blade with your thumb. It's not a, I don't like them. I will not use them. So, I mean, they don't have to be there. To me, it's useless, but they're there. I didn't design the knife, so take it for what it is. Everybody likes to cut paper. We have to cut paper. I don't really like this as a test. It doesn't prove anything to me, but I don't cut paper well with knives. It doesn't work well for me. I mean, it does just save paper nice. I prefer to do a little how easy does it stab and how easy does it ride down. Not too easy, obviously. It does glide through paper very smooth. It's a knife, it's paper. That's not what you're ever going to be trying. You're ever going to pull out your knife and say, I need to shred some loose leaf paper? That's kind of weird. I prefer, I do it in my videos, a rubber band test. So let's take a rubber band. Let's see, a little bit of pressure. Cuts right away. That just got caught up on my finger. So let's use that to our advantage here. Tie it up. Let's do it again. That, to me, is pretty sharp. When that rubber band is under tension and it hits that blade, it should pop relatively easy and quickly. Should just touch and be done. Again, I'll try and give it a third time even in a different spot on the blade, and it just touches and pops that rubber band, which is great. That's an excellent. I have a piece of 2x4 laying here, so just for fun, that's more realistic of something that you're gonna need a knife for instead of shaving some paper. Let's give it a real task, and it shaves wood very nice throughout the whole blade. The whole very fine shavings, which is what you want. If it's sharp, it's going to take very fine slices. It's not going to rip chunks. If you want to start tinder, feather stick, if you're going to do something like that, that's a very good style blade. What I could see myself using this for is just fishing, maybe. Just out in a pack, or leaving it in a bag if you're fishing and you need something to clean a fish if you're out camping or for the day. The blade design seems like it would be very good to gut, say, a trout. You're not going to fillet a fish with this, I don't see, but I could see cleaning a fish in a pinch and it working pretty well. Could possibly be used to like gut a deer. A little big for me for a deer knife. It would work. It's just my personal preference is smaller. I like something smaller in my hand when I'm up in the chest cavity, cutting the windpipe and things like that, or running the blade up while peeling the skin back. A smaller knife seems to work better for me, so I don't puncture intestines or the stomach or anything, but a lot of people do prefer a bigger knife, so this would work well for that. The blade design is very well with that point where it's not coming to a full sweep down, where it would probably keep you from puncturing anything like that. Maybe cleaning small game, stuff like that. It seems like a very well designed knife. My biggest complaint is not being able to carry it tip up. And I'm not even a lefty, but I just like when knives come and you're able to switch them to a left carry if need be. I have a lot of friends that are lefties. My father's a lefty. It's more comfortable for them. So it really doesn't take much for, say, Kershaw or any company to make a knife reversible on the pocket clip, but it is what it is. Again, it was $20. It's always on sale for $20. Now, I'm not sure if Kershaw markets this same knife design in a different color, maybe a slightly different style under a different name that they sell to everyone else. But I do know just from looking online, this is a Dick's exclusive model. They don't have a lot of info online about it, not a lot of reviews online. It isn't very talked about knife. It doesn't seem like a lot of people have it or use it. I figured I'd give it a go. And overall, I'm impressed with it for $20. I have a lot of knives in that $20 range that I think this is gonna beat out. I would prefer to grab this, now that I opened it up and played with it a little bit, over a lot of the other knives that you would think seem better. But this actually stands up pretty good, I think. If you're thinking about it, go ahead and pick one up. You take it for what it is. It is a hollow design, a cut-through design that tends to get a lot dirtier on different things, but on the same time it's somewhat easier to clean out. If I was to take this to a sink and just hose it through, a lot of that stuff will come right out. But just the frame lock seems like it has a very positive lock up on there. On the back end, you can kind of see in there where the blade is locking up on that, so it's a very nice sharp edge for that to grab. Seems like it'll be okay. It's all Torx. Yep, it's all Torx screws, which is nice because you could Loctite them, crank them down. I'm sure from the factory they're torqued down pretty well. The only downside I see to that is I like having, say, Phillips or flathead or something like that screws, just because if something happens in the field or if I'm out, I'm more likely to have that type of screwdriver or driver bit on me. So I mean, as a backup knife, it's perfectly fine. I don't see this loosening up and, oh no, I'm out of a knife. But just a thought. I mean, maybe check them every once in a while or Loctite them, but you might have a hard time finding a Torx bit that small. Try and pull that in there. Again, if you don't keep stuff like that around. Does have a lanyard hole. I never put lanyards on my knives. I mean, it's nice to have a little extra cordage around if you wrap some cord on it. It's there, but again, I just keep cordage in my bag or in my truck, and it's there anyway. Overall, I think for $20, it's a very good, solid, positive feeling knife. Take it for what it is. Just figured I'd give you guys a little overview on it because I didn't see a lot of information online about it. So if you're interested in it, or say you have reward points and you don't know what to get and you just, hey, I need another knife, for 20 bucks, I think it's a pretty good deal. Alright? Thanks, guys.